Scotland up against the US, folks, and that's a big old scoreline. I figured Scotland would show us some sexy rugby. I figured they'd get the back line going, and they did, but I didn't see 85 points to nil coming. More than a point a minute. A heck of a lot of broken tackles and line breaks and run meters, and yeah, sadly for the US guys, not even like a consolation try. They had a couple of moments. They had one really sweet pass behind the back. And a 50-22. Maybe these are the highlights of the game for the US, but goodness me, it's almost like a bit of a training run for the Scottish guys. I'm not sure how well that preps them ahead of the All Blacks game next week. But man, it's a bunch of tries, and yeah, they'll be celebrating in Edinburgh. We'll go through some of the key events and stats, and you guys can let us know your thoughts on that match. Obviously, it was Duhan's 50th match for Scotland, and he looked pretty emotional, so you could see what it means to him, and he ends up getting just the 2 tries in this game. 2 of his colleagues ended up getting hat-tricks, so he kind of gets a little bit overshone there, but Richardson got the first one, basically one phase after a scrum, which was dominant, which was pleasing for Scotland because, you know, no Xander Fagerson. How's the scrum going to go? I never thought it was going to get in trouble, but it was good to see them put the squeeze on the US guys. 7 points to nil. Duhan got one. Turnover ball. Dobby, who gets man of the match, he was quite incredible. McConnell, who was again on debut, he was bloody everywhere. One-handed offload. What kind of confidence is that? 14 points to nil. And it's already a rout by 9 minutes because they get one from the USA losing the ball on their own half. Wide ball from Hastings to Graham, 21-0. And I love the way Scotland used the width of the pitch. The US defensive structure could not deal with it. Some guys were biting in. There was space. Yeah, it was tough. They did get a bit of possession and territory, did the US guys, but it wasn't too long later before Dobby put a little dinking kick through for Graham, and then Graham gave it back to him for Dobby's first try of 3, 28 points to nil. Duhan beats like 2 defenders on the left wing for another one. He powers over 33-0. McDowell line break up the middle. Dobby with the support line, 40 points to nil. The US did have a maul crack, but they ended up knocking it on, and then the US had a line out stolen, wide ball to Darcy Graham, and 45-0. 45-0. I mean, I guess in the second half, they don't get to 90. So the second half is slightly better. But Gregor Townsend rung the changes at halftime. As well you should. I mean, you're 45-0 up. You might as well give some guys. I think he had 5 substitutes at halftime. So that's good from him. That had 60% possession. That had 9 line breaks to zip and broken 17 tackles to 1. 1 missed tackle in the first half from Scotland. I didn't even look up who it was. But that's pretty impressive. Second half, kick return. Ollie Smith plays a 1-2 with Graham. So he gets a hat-trick. When was this? 44-minute hat-trick. Old Darcy. Him and Duhan, their try-scoring race is always an entertaining one to watch. But 50 points. There's a bit of handbags in the second half. I thought maybe this can fire up the US guys. You know, sometimes, like I see it in ice hockey because they have fights in ice hockey. Sometimes if a team's getting beaten, they have a fight, and the fight can, you know, invigorate the guys. The team, especially who are on the back foot, can, I don't know, take something from it. But yeah, though they did win a turnover on defense actually not long later. The lock won a turnover on defense. I thought maybe they'll get some momentum, but Kyle Rowe ended up getting a try because he was bloody setting up everybody else. He got one for himself to make sure all the back 3 starters got tries. It was the hands from Dobby, offload. The hands generally from Scotland were nice, 57-0. And to be fair, like that kind of goes back to the fact that, you know, I mentioned the USA won that breakdown turnover. They lost the next line out. So any momentum was kind of snuffed out. Lopetti then had that behind the back pass, which was sweet. That's a cracker one. Then they were breaking down the right wing. Probably should have scored, but didn't. So Scotland will be happy to keep it to 0. Then there's like a big period where there is no scoring. Like the USA were only, I say only, what, 57-0 down with 10 to go. Finishes 85 because bang, 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 so many tries. McDowell after a period of pressure. McConnell with the quick hands, that was nice, 64-0. Duhan from kick return, Rowe to Horn, 71-0. Man of the match, hat-trick try from Dobie with the width, because he's out on the wing at this point, 78-0. And the icing on the cake try for Ollie Smith, 85-0. That's like 70th, 72nd, 77th, 81st. Like, yeah. USA guys were struggling at the death. The stats, do you want them? They're horrendously lopsided. Line breaks, 21-1. Defenders beaten 40-5. That means if you flip that, that's missed tackles. 40-5. Run meters, 883-127. Graham had 6 of the line breaks plus his 3 tries. McConnell on his debut, 4 line breaks, 128 meters. That's cracking from that guy. Dylan Richardson led the defensive shift for Scotland, plus he got a try, 12 tackles from him. Ollie Smith, 7 defenders beaten. Dobie, 124 metres, hat-trick. Kyle Rowe, 4 try assists. I mean, Paddy Ryan for the US had 21 tackles. That was quite the mismatch, folks. But yeah, Scotland will host the All Blacks next. They'll be on a bit of a high from that one, but again, it's got a bit of a training run feel, but it was a test match, so we'll see how that preps them. Remember, the All Blacks will be flying over from the States, so maybe a bit of jet lag. Maybe. They're on notice anyway. That when Scotland click, they can play, but All Blacks are a very different prospect from the US for sure. The US will play Georgia next, which will be a hard prospect for them, but still a fair bit closer to their level than the Scots. But yeah, you guys let us know your thoughts on the match. Take care. I await the Irish up against the All Blacks from Chicago very shortly. You guys take care, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. Subscribe. Take care. Bye-bye.